Seeing as how it is now 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 17th, the Greensburg Board of Zoning Appeals meeting will be called to order for September. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. I would ask that you please silence any electronic devices and rise and join me in the pledge.
You're okay, you're okay.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
John, would you call the roll, please?
Roy.
Present.
Steve Raymer. Present. Steve Hamilton.
Present.
Rich. Present. Matt. Present.
Next item is the approval of the minutes from our August 2019 meeting. Does anyone see any additions or corrections that need to be made?
No, I didn't see any.
Okay,
Yeah, so I'll make a motion that we approve.
motion's been made
I'll second.
and seconded. All those in favor of approving the August 20th, 2019 minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, those minutes will stand approved. New business, Bread of Life, conditional use. Kathy?
Good evening. Before us, we have an application for the Bread of Life. I think in your binders, you have a copy of the application along with a letter from the Bread of Life explaining what they would like to do with their petition. They give you a brief scenario of what happens at the Bread of Life and how big their existing building is and when they purchase the new building, and kind of a scenario of what they want to do with the new building. So on the screen, and I know you have it in your booklet, but on the screen, there's a site, if you're familiar with the site, and I'll talk loud. Here's Wilder Street, here's Randall Street, and the old Meyer Engineering Building. You're all familiar with that site. Here's their existing site. Here's a look at the existing building. As you can see, the restrooms are located in the rear. Over here is the loading dock for Meyer Engineering, the office area and such. The first page that you have is a proposed only. It's just a detailed sketch, so to speak. It needs tweak. So, but of the layout of the new Bread of Life that they would like to eventually down the road be able to move into. They'd have their dining area, the dish room, the kitchen area, and then the restrooms back here in the corner. Sorry. And then as you can see back here, here's the overall building itself. There'd be a pantry. Again, here's the restrooms, the offices, the dining room, the dish room, and the kitchen. The reason why they're here is because they're zoned I-1. So instead of spot zoning, I recommend that we give them a conditional use for the first year, allowing them to be housed here at this location because they're not zone B2, which is what they really need to be zoned. So to give them approval for the conditional use under an I-1. Melissa Foist is here if you have any other questions. She's present. So is there any questions from the board?
So it will be conditional for 1 year,
Yes.
and then what?
then they would have to come to renew that for a permanent exception.
Is that existing building, is it sprinkled?
No. However, there's ways around things. A lot of things is based on occupant load. So I don't know what the occupant load of the dining room is going to be, and what this is going to be used back here.
Well, they're gonna have a kitchen, right?
So, well, the very back, there's open area. So it might be that they may have to put firewalls in. It depends on use and location of a lot of things. Like the restrooms, are they going to be moved?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. We have been
This is
Excuse me,
Melissa
could you-
Foyce.
I know, could you please come to the podium for a second, state your name for the record, please?
I'm Melissa Foist. I'm the founder and director of the Soup Kitchen Bread of Life. And we have been tweaking these plans every week. And we talk to Kathy, we talk to the architect, and we keep going back and forth. And we want to get it right and correct before it can ever be sent off to the state. And our latest revision is to make this a lot more efficient and better than this jig-jag here. This is one great big firewall all the way. This is a firewall all the way down, and then there'll be a door here that will let us walk in there, right here by the southern door. And then there will be a door up here. And the reason that, we want a firewall right there to keep it separate from the kitchen is because we've got $75,000 in our vans. And we want to protect our vans, and we want to have our vans in here each night like a garage. And that would be that firewall. It's not the best neighborhood over there, and sometimes at the Eggridge building, they've had thefts of people stealing parts of their trucks and stuff. So we just want to be responsible with our vans and keep them in there. And we have put in a men's and women's restroom right here by when the patrons first come into the door, and it's handicap accessible, and that'll be for the dining room, so that there'll be bathrooms for the dining room. And then back here would be like maybe for volunteers, and then there's another restroom in here in the cleaning room. But we are so cramped right now. I mean, I know you don't want a soup kitchen to grow, and it's not necessarily the people that are growing that we're serving, it's the amount of food we get. And it's just opened up a door to where, we can give people their free hot meal, but we can also give them groceries. And then they can be self-sufficient over the weekend. Because there's just a lot of wasted food out there, and when people know that that's what you do, they want to bring it, and we're just running out of places to put it. And this is a dream. We're hoping it could look like maybe like a grocery store, and with anybody that volunteers in the kitchen will be able to come in here and help us stock, and it all won't be up in my little brain. But it's being tweaked every week, and that's where we're at so far. We're getting real close to putting all the electric where it needs to go and all the plumbing.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions?
Can you guys see this okay?
I think so. If they can see it, I can. They're on that side. So, Melissa, do you serve meals 7 days a week?
No, we don't want people to be fully reliable on us. We just do it 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Are most of them carried out or eaten?
There is the majority, I'd say 75% are carried out, and then 25% eat in. The ones that eating in are really the homeless.
Well, it says you serve 700 hot meals a week,
We have,
5 days.
yeah, on,
So 25% of those then.
yeah. On a day we're open, we're doing about, 250 to 275 meals, and right now, 80 are going to delivery. And, then there's people that walk in and they still have a stigma with a soup kitchen. They wanna take their 3 meals home and go eat with their family instead of sitting there and dining. And plus, there's no room. I mean, there's no room for that many people to dine in, and that's why I think the homeless feel more comfortable. They kinda take up a whole booth.
Okay, do you have deep fryers and?
No, I refuse to
Just
clean that
ovens?
stuff, no.
So you don't have to worry about grease fires or
No.
anything like that?
We bake and steam.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns from board members? Is there anybody in the audience here to speak on this petition? If you'd come forward and state your name for the record, please.
My name's Don Henry. I got a question. Where's the traffic gonna go? I mean, I had to run people off the other day out of my yard who was parked in there working on your roof of your other building. I don't wanna have to mess with that. So where's the traffic gonna go?
Well, we have more parking spots at this building than we do at the other one. We've got,
You have an alley that we own property back to that you're gonna have to deal with traffic too. So
Yeah.
where's,
well, and nobody goes over to the Eckridge building and parks anymore, because we have threatened to tow them. They're not allowed to park on any of that property. But right here, we have 13 spots and 1 handicap spot. And then over here, we've got 7. And then right here, we can still put 4 more. So that's significantly more than over here. We only have, I think, 14 spots and 1 handicap. I think that's what it is. So we are picking up more parking up there. But if you show me where,
it's not just parking, it's people walking too, because if they're coming there to get free meals because they don't wanna work or whatever the case may be, what makes you think they ain't gonna take a shortcut through my yard to get to the new building? Because I'm like diagonal from the new building.
well, I mean, we're just gonna have to educate people. If they're going, the cops are gonna be called on them. If they're trespassing on your property, we don't do that. I mean, the people that come in the door
Don, where's
are
your-
very respectful.
Can you show us where your property is on the map?
It's 210 South Water. Let's see. Where's the new building, or where's the old
This
building?
is the old one, and this is the new
Okay, so, yeah, that's gonna be right there, probably.
Okay.
210 South Water.
one. And I do know because of the railroad tracks, there are people that are walking down the railroad tracks like it's a sidewalk. I mean, I know, my beautician lives up here on Main, and they come right up to her back door. So that's not necessarily me, because there is a place on the railroad tracks called Tent City.
Oh, yeah, I know where it's
And
at.
people go back and forth on that railroad track all the time. But,
Well,
we can be, we can educate people. I'm pretty strict.
I mean, you see them walking from Maddox Auction Building all the way down the railroad tracks to your guys' place. I mean,
We can start teaching people to be more
and
respectful.
then when you guys like have the turkey dinner, and I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing, but when you got traffic on Wilder Street, you can't get in your drive off of Wilder Street or leave your drive, that causes an issue.
Yes, I apologize, and, that's one thing with our turkey noodle dinner, that is such a huge fundraiser, that a week before it starts, we do put, signs on each side of the street, let people know that, it's the dinner, the drive-through dinner is gonna happen, and, thank goodness it's, only 2.5 hours, it's not all day, but I know that affects you, that makes it, uncomfortable.
I got one more, and I'm sorry if it offends anybody, but as a city taxpayer, we pay for services, trash, streets, stuff like that. Why don't I have a choice with my taxes on whether or not, if it even does, go to a nonprofit to support somebody who won't work? I mean, you see these guys walking out with meals, smoking a cigarette, $1,000 phone in their pocket. I mean,
we don't judge. There's a lot of mental issues why people don't work. There are some that just aren't capable of holding down a job. And I don't think we have the correct, facilities for that in this town. And a lot of people, they don't see that, but that's a small percentage of, that problem.
but to my knowledge, you guys have asked the city for funds to,
That's gambling money. It's not out of your taxpayer money. It's a special fund. We take no taxpayer dollars, none. We are privately funded and we write our own grants. The money for the not-for-profit strip that the city grants us, it's from a different fund. It's not all the taxpayer money.
for a second, I think that should be my right whether I want to support a nonprofit deal or not.
Right.
I mean,
And that is because you don't give us donations. That's your right. But we don't take any taxpayer money.
Thank you, thanks. Anybody else from the audience to speak?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am, would you come forward, please,
Yes, sir.
and state your name for the record?
My name is Joyce Bruns. I live at 212 South Wilder, which Don and I share the driveway. And my question is, will this change the value of my property?
Shouldn't affect your evaluation at all because that's already zoned for industry, so it shouldn't have an effect on you. I can't swear that it won't because I don't deal with that, but it shouldn't have an effect on anybody's property values because that's already taken into consideration when your assessment is made as to what the land use around you is. And actually, probably this being a bread of life, not-for-profit, would, if anything, be a little better than an industrial area
Okay.
behind you.
I have another question. What about loitering?
No?
Because this is why I'm saying this is the man on the other side of me who is on the back side of Bread of Life told me he's had to run off 2 or 3 people out of his yard. And he has told them this is not the Bread of Life, it's over there. And they had a vehicle parked behind the pole barn, which these ladies will know where that is. And people were, he said that somebody had been sleeping in it. So we do not want this problem. I am there by myself, and I don't want any problems.
Understand.
And
But if people are loitering in your yard or trespassing in your yard, that's an issue for really the city police.
well, it's,
I mean, they need to
yeah.
enforce that,
I can understand that, but
and it's a
like
violation of
Don
sleeping
said,
man.
he chased somebody off that was on our property putting up the roof, which they complied, they took it off. But we have, my vision is where is all this traffic gonna go? Because there's not a whole lot in front of either one of those buildings that I can see. I don't know.
Well, they're actually gonna gain parking places by going to the new building. And this is I wanna remind everyone, this is a conditional use for a year. If you have a problem, and seriously, you need to contact Kathy at the office so that we can make, in a year, this is all gonna come back. It'll be probably a new board because there'll be an election between now and then. But this will come back before that board for a permanent exception. And if there have been a number of violations, it's up to what that board does. I can't speak, but this board, we probably wouldn't approve it if there was a number of violations.
Okay, may I ask another question?
Sure,
I put it out, I got myself a list.
it's okay.
What is the difference in the code as it is now and what it's gonna be after? What's the difference in the coding?
We're just gonna, I don't know the difference, actually, I can't speak to the legal part of it. Chris would have to do that, he's our lawyer, but we are going, the we're not gonna change the zoning, so this, Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong, but this only goes with the bread of life. If they ever leave that building, it goes back to an industrial use, am I correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is just for the bread of life, so it won't change anything in the future. Should they have a windfall of money and decide to build a brand new place somewhere else, then when they leave that building, that special exception ends with them leaving that building. Or if they end because they run out of money, if they leave, it goes back to being industrial. No one else you can't buy the building and get the special
So
exception.
may I ask you this, what's the sense of changing it then?
Because it can't, according to the ordinances, it can't be, this use can't be in that area. We have to grant a special exception.
So that's what it is.
Yes.
Okay, because I thought, what is the difference in the code now and after? What's the sense, after you've already bought something, why do you want to change the code? You already bought it with the code as it was.
Right, but they can't move over there unless we grant them the special exception, because it is zoned industrial right now. And it's not it has to come before this board and get a special exception before it can be used for what they want to use it for.
Well, then if that were me, I wouldn't be renovating the place until I was sure I had it right.
Well, I think that's why they're here. Now, I don't know what they've done, I
Yeah.
can't speak to that, but
Yeah,
for them to move, we have to agree, excuse me.
yeah.
But as far as the problems that you experienced with people and parking, stuff like that, that should, I mean, that's a separate issue that has to be addressed. What they're doing here is just expanding into the other building. They're not really gonna serve any more meals, there's not gonna be any more people, it's just for their personal use, they need a bigger facility. It's
Yeah.
not gonna change the people coming.
But you
Or
can
do-
understand what our concern
I
is.
understand
mean,
what you're-
I'm all for the bread of life. I'm
Yeah.
all for people getting help.
Well, we
But
understand.
certain places draw certain people.
Right. But regardless of whether we grant it or not, they're still gonna operate, they're still gonna have those problems.
Yeah.
So this is
But
gonna
this would be on a bigger scale is what I'm saying.
well, it's just gonna facilitate them accepting all this donated food that they're getting now that they can't, and they have no place for and preparation of it.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem in this country, is the waste of food, if you follow any of that. Food waste, we waste more food than we eat. And this will help some of that, but they'll have a place to store it.
Yeah, well, I can understand that, and I hope you all can understand our
Yes,
concerns.
we do.
Because we don't want any problems there, and we don't want to have to call the police. We don't want to have to do that. We just don't.
Well, my suggestion, when you have a problem, is contact them at the Bread of Life and let them handle taking care of the police or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't want to.
That way you don't have anybody
Thinking that you
thinking
did
that you
something.
did it.
Right, contacting us and let them handle it.
Well, like I said, me being a widow by myself, and I don't want any problems.
We understand that. And
Not
they're-
that I wouldn't take a rolling pin and hit them on the head.
And I think now they're more aware of the problem than they were before.
Yeah. Well, thank you, fellas.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the audience that wants to speak? Any other questions from board members?
Yeah, I have a question, Roy. So Melissa, will you lose all of those spaces where you're currently at, parking wise?
Probably, but the person that might buy that building, you know, we may work something out.
Okay.
So you're gonna put that up for sale if this is all
I've
works out?
already, yeah, I already got a bite.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions from board members? If not, I would entertain a motion that we approve this special exception. Is that the right term? Am I saying it right, Ken? Thanks, Chris. That we approve the special exception for Bread of Life for use in the I-1 zone.
I'll move it.
Motion's been made, John, by Steve Hamilton. Do we have a second? Motion's been made by Steve Hamilton, seconded by Steve Raymer. John, would you call the roll, please?
Roy,
Yes.
Steve Raymer,
Yes.
Steve Hamilton,
Yes.
Richard,
I abstain
Matt,
due to marriage
Yes.
relation.
Motion's carried 4-0 with one abstention. On with your progress. Kathy, do we have any other business?
No, sir.
We have a meeting for next month that you know of yet, or you don't know?
We don't know yet.
Okay, that's fine. I'd entertain a motion, we adjourn then.
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
So moved. Done.